Alrighty then. So Anita Sardines. Anita Sardines is back. You know her, you love her. She was part of the big three back in the original Gamergate. She spoke. I think she spoke. Was it her or what was the other bitch's name? Zoe. I think that was her name, right? Zoe or Anita. It was one of them. It might have been both of them. But I believe Anita did speak at the UN, and it was a whole fucking thing, right? Like, she's just an obnoxious feminist, trying to push her fucking ideology into video games and shove it down our throats. And yeah, I mean, she is the originator of the whole Gamergate stuff. Apparently, she is back. She is back in the game. All right, I'm like Mr. Incredible's coming, Mr. Incredible, trying to recover his glory type shit, right? She apparently was featured in the credits of Slay the Spire 2. And people have been losing their minds and review bombing the game because of that. And yeah, it's been a whole thing. So let's get into it.
Hey, what's up, guys? Rev here. So in this video, I'm explaining the current Slay the Spire 2 situation, where thousands of players are leaving negative reviews on this game and even requesting refunds after making a discovery about a certain consultant involved with the game's creation. Now, for many, Slay the Spire 2 has been one of the highlights of gaming for the year 2026. This game got off to a very hot start.
Anita Sardines.
Nearly 600,000 concurrent players. But now you can see the Steam DB ratings. It's dropped from very positive to the 50% range in just a few days. Now, recently there was a balancing patch that caused a lot of dislikes to come in, but over the past couple of days, there's been an influx of thousands of negative reviews and refund requests thanks to this discovery right here. Here's a related headline. It says this: Slay the Spire 2 is facing backlash after players discovered Anita Sarkeesian listed as a consultant in the credits. Gamers are leaving negative Steam reviews saying they regret buying this game and would not have purchased it if they knew. Some are requesting refunds while it is still in early access. Now, I will explain in just a moment why the involvement of Anita Sarkeesian here.
The game isn't even out. It's in early access. Wow, yeah, and they're getting all... Yeah, I have a funny feeling that this game's going to be having a hard time. Wow. Yeah, that's not great.
Is such a deal breaker, but as you can see, predictably, the allies of people like her...
It's always the allies, man. It's always the fucking ally. What are we doing here?
Are already running defense, including Kotaku.
Naturally, yeah. Anita's #1 dick riders.
This article today.
Too bad she doesn't actually have one.
Slay the Spire 2 is getting review bombed again. This time because of chuds.
It's always the chuds, man. It's always those dang chuds.
An influx of new players are using Steam reviews to relitigate Gamergates. Yes, this might be the worst headline ever produced, even for Kotaku. But here's one of the intro paragraphs saying this. For the third straight month, Slay the Spire 2 is getting review bombs.
Can't help but yawn when I hear Kotaku.
The reason for this is somehow that online shuds are mad that media critic and feminist frequency founder Anita Sarkeesian is listed in Slay the Spire 2's credits as a consultant. Now, of course, Kotaku confirms her involvement here. I'll say this: over the past couple of days, the sort of activists on social media have been fighting for their lives to say that she was not involved in this game and it was all just a conspiracy until they couldn't deny it anymore. Now, their goalpost shift.
It's all those fucking tinfoil hat chuds, man. I'm telling you. Them fuckers. It's them fuckers you gotta worry about.
And basically saying people are lashing out, including the online chuds who just can't handle this feminist and media critic. Well, of course, they are glossing over the person that is Anita Sarkeesian. I really can't sit here and explain to you the involvement and the damage this woman has done to the gaming industry.
And it's a very fun rabbit hole to go down.
In ways that we still...
I mean, it's like years of bullshit, right? It's years of shit that she did.
Still feel to this day.
Her and Feminist Frequency, right? All those obnoxious women.
This is someone who self-admittedly doesn't even enjoy video games, doesn't even like video games, and had to basically start learning about them while she was grifting off of hating them. Okay, it's absolutely pathetic, but people listen to her. In fact, she got national television appearances. She even spoke before the UN.
Yeah, it was her. I was right.
Grifter, that word has become watered down beyond belief. But if there is a true grifter, it's Anita Sarkeesian. People were so afraid of her and what she stood for, and
the OG grifter, if you will.
No. And she had a massive ripple effect on the gaming industry that has existed and really just evolved to this day. She is one of the worst things to happen to the gaming industry. Make no mistake. People like to meme on her because she is very, very unintelligent and hypocritical and really transparent.
Typical feminism, some would say. I'm sorry, typical feminist. Well, I guess both really apply.
Parent, you can see right through her games, but people listen to her. And that's one of the reasons why the gaming industry
That's the problem, that people listen to her.
All this nonsense going on within it. But of course, looking at the Slay the Spire 2 situation, you can see the recent reviews are mostly negative, getting absolutely destroyed with negative reviews. In fact, you can see some of the reviews listed here saying things like, "I feel dirty having bought this." So here's some of the reviews recently left saying, "Game was quite good to kill some time, but the studio seemed to align itself with people that are destroying the industry. Do not support them." Devolver hired Anita Sarkeesian to consult on it, a radical leftist feminist who hates games, hates gamers, and pursued political activism to have both censored. Hard pass. I regret buying this. I was unaware Anita Sarkeesian was involved. I would have never bought it knowing that. The damage she has done to this industry and her hypocrisy, along with her terrible ideas, taints anything that could be truthful.
Yep.
Fruitful. She only makes things worse. Always has, always will. I unfortunately found out I could not refund this purchase as I am past the refund window. I had not played it.
Unfortunate.
And only did so to leave a review. I regret buying. Here's another one saying, purchase before learning about the developer's choice in consultants. There are plenty of other games out there. I feel dirty having bought this. If you're going to include people in the production of a game that a lot of people don't like and you want to avoid negative reviews, then disclose it somewhere obvious that people can see it before they buy.
Well, I guess the problem is that that's not really like a, I guess, common thing to do, right? You know, they don't really typically say that sort of thing, right? They're not normally, games won't drop their like entire credits list before, you know, online or something like that, right? You'll usually have to, you know, look at the actual credits of the game to get that stuff, right? But I mean, yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice, especially this day and age when there are like so many really disgraced people in the industry that nobody wants to support
the game. And of course, people are now requesting refunds as well. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't blame them. Was the consulting she provided something that enhanced this game in a meaningful way? No. She didn't enhance this game in a positive or negative way. She was just a small cog in this giant machine that produced this game. However, her name being attached to any video game these days is a very big impact. And as you can see,
it's a death sentence essentially. Nobody likes Anita.
Now feel betrayed.
Nobody wants to support her.
They now feel dirty for supporting this game, because this is a matter
It's
of
completely
principle.
valid.
Out of principle, people feel wrong supporting a game or a development team that would work with the likes of Anita Sarkeesian.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, chat, right? I know a lot of people have been saying great things about Slay the Spire 2, and people are saying that Slay the Spire 2 is a great game, and, you know, all that stuff. I personally have not played Slay the Spire 2, so I couldn't tell you, but I can just speak on what I've seen about the game. And people do seem to enjoy the game and think that it's a relatively good game. Here's the problem. Anita Sarkeesian is attached to the game. And some will, you know, say, well, who cares, right? If the game is good, then why should it matter, right? Clearly, you know, maybe she's turned a new leaf, or, you know, you didn't even know that Anita Sarkeesian had something to do with it until you saw the credits. So, you know, it's clearly not woke or anything like that, right? So why not support a good game? Well, here's the thing. Anita Sarkeesian is like a mole, right? She's like a mole. You know, you don't really know whether it's cancerous or not, but it's best to remove it before it becomes a bigger problem, right? Same thing applies with Anita Sarkeesian, right? Just because she had one good game doesn't really mean anything, right? We know what she believes. We know how she operates, right? She's gonna try to come back into the industry. She's going to try and build up her credibility by having her name attached to a handful of good, successful games, and then she can go back to doing what she did back in her heyday. That's what she's going to do, right? So it's best to cut the mole out before it becomes cancerous, right? You don't want Anita Sarkeesian to establish any sort of credibility in the industry again. You want to keep her out. You want to show these developers and studios that, hey, if Anita Sarkeesian is attached to your game in any way, we're not going to support it, and your game is going to fail, right? You have to do that. And again, like I said, I've heard that it is a good game, right? I've been seeing that, you know, Kumo has been playing the game, and it's she's been enjoying it. And, you know, I'm not gonna fault anybody for wanting to play the game, right? You know, if you want to play the game, sure, but, you know, personally, I won't be playing the game because I don't want to support anything that's tied to Anita Sarkeesian, right? It's sort of the same thing that, like, when Ghost of Yote was getting, you know, into trouble, right? You know, it's, you know, because, you know, the voice actress and, you know, the whole thing, you know, getting political and stuff like that, right? You know, I'm not going to support the game because of, you know, my own personal values, but I did hear that the game was pretty good, so, you know, I'm not going to fault anybody if they want to play it, but like I said, personally, I'm not going to support it. And I think it is best for people not to support anything with Anita Sarkeesian tied to it, precisely because of that. You don't want her to have credibility.
She represents everything,
like I said,
wrong,
like
with the gaming
mole.
industry. She is.
You don't know if it's
just
cancerous or not,
but
it's best to get rid of it before it becomes a bigger problem.
Anything she's involved with. This shows either just incompetence or just a total lack of understanding for how much negative PR she brings. They overlook this massively, okay? She, in fact, is the perfect example of a Sweet Baby Inc. type influence where her name being attached to anything is a massive negative. Anybody who hires someone like that, whether it's Sweet Baby or Anita Sarkeesian, does not read the room. They don't understand gamers. And this is alarming.
I mean,
and nobody wants to
massive
reward
fumble.
This sort of behavior in hiring choice. Now, of course, this is getting sloppier and sloppier. You can see a lot of the recent negative reviews, mostly negative reviews. But there's an asterisk. And why is that? Well, They're claiming that these are off-topic reviews and that these things are being basically curated to see if this is senseless review bombing, just as Kotaku was suggesting. And this is disgusting. This is covering for Slay the Spire 2. It's very obvious why there is a big spike in negative reviews the last couple of days. It's because of the discovery of Anita Sarkeesian's involvement with this game. Simple as that. And people have every right to express their displeasure in the form
100%.
of a negative review and or a refund request. And you see people running defense, right, on Twitter saying the anti-wokies are boycotting Slay the Spire 2 because they found out Anita Sarkeesian consulted on it. All this proves is that it was never about games being good. It was always about activism, which is just pure projection. This person does not understand the very obvious reason why people don't like this. They don't want to support anything the likes of her are involved with. It's that simple. They don't want to reward negligent behavior. Because if you actually had a pulse on what gamers think, you would not hire Anita Sarkeesian for your project. She's not worth it.
Yeah, I mean,
her consultation
it's
is not worth it.
like she's, an unknown figure, right? She has a very long and well-documented history on the internet, right? You should probably know that, if you actually, care to make your game successful, or you should probably know that Anita Sarkeesian is not well liked, and it is going to bring a very, very negative PR to your game if you have her involved in it.
From a practical sense, but from a reputational sense, it is detrimental to levels you can't even imagine, and we're watching it play out in real time. People who have been paying attention to this stuff will never support anything she's involved in, and I don't blame them whatsoever, and I don't blame them for requesting refunds. Yes, Slay the Spire 2 was a very enjoyable experience for many, but I don't blame anyone for 1 second for leaving a negative review or requesting a refund after making this discovery. That is something people are doing out of principle, and I don't blame them at all. I don't blame them at all.
100%.
That seems like a pretty
it's
natural
well-deserved
reaction. People are rejecting the Anita Sarkeesians of the gaming industry.
Yep.
And anyone
You'll love to see it.
who has the gall to work with them. That's what's happening here. This is not senseless review bombing. This is a reaction to a problem that's been festering for over a decade at this point. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like and consider subscribing
that simple,
and turn on
chat.
notifications so you can be there for daily uploads as well as multiple streams here a week on YouTube. I would love to see you there, but that's going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.
It is purely a matter of principle. Anita Sarkeesian, she is a stain on gaming history, right? She is not a well-liked figure in any way, shape, or form. And she is not a trustworthy person. If you think that Anita Sarkeesian has turned over a new leaf and is now, wanting to make good games, then, I mean, you're delusional. Right, you're insane. She does not care. She does not like games. She never played games until she started her little, anti-fucking game campaign, speaking at the UN and all that stuff, right? She is not a trustworthy person, right? And, like I said, Anita Sarkeesian is like a mole, right? She's like a mole, right? So it's best to show these studios and developers like, hey, don't involve yourself with Anita Sarkeesian or any of these, sweet babying types. Otherwise, this will be the result, and I 100% support it. But again, I'm not gonna fault anybody if they want to play the game, right? Like I said, I've heard that it's a really fun and great game. But out of principle, I personally do not want to support anything with Anita Sarkeesian involved, and I would encourage others to not support anything with Anita Sarkeesian involved.